Have you ever felt like an outsider in your own home? Like you're watching your life play out from the sidelines and someone else has taken your place? It sounds like the plot of a thriller, right? But for me, this was my reality, and the person trying to erase me was my own sister, Chloe. Chloe and I were never the classic, picture-perfect sisters. She's 2 years younger, and from the moment she was born, she had this incredible ability to capture everyone's attention. She was the bubbly, outgoing one, the social butterfly, while I was quieter, more content with a good book and my own thoughts. Growing up, I didn't mind. We were different, and that was okay. I was the responsible older sister. She was the charming younger one. Our family dynamic seemed balanced. The problems started subtly, right after I left for college. At first, it was just small things. I'd call home excited to share something about my classes or a new friend I'd made, and my mom would say, "Oh, that's nice, honey. You'll never guess what Chloe did today." And the conversation would shift entirely to her. Chloe had joined the debate team. Chloe was volunteering at the animal shelter. Chloe had redecorated my old room. "Wait, what? She did what to my room?" I asked, my heart sinking a little. "Oh, she just gave it a little refresh," Mom said cheerfully. "You know, to make it feel more current. She has such a great eye for design." When I came home for winter break, a little refresh turned out to be a complete overhaul. My band posters were gone, replaced by pastel-colored art prints. My collection of vintage novels was tucked away in a box in the attic, replaced by her fashion magazines. It didn't even feel like my room anymore. It felt like Chloe's guest room. When I tried to talk to my parents about it, they brushed it off. "Don't be so dramatic, sweetie. It's just a room." Chloe's just trying to be helpful. Chloe, standing right there, would give me this little innocent smile and say, "I just thought it would be a nice surprise for you. Don't you like it?" How could I argue with that without looking like the mean, ungrateful older sister? So I'd force a smile and say it was great, while a knot of resentment tightened in my stomach. But the room was just the beginning. Soon, Chloe started co-opting my memories. At family dinners, she'd retell stories from our childhood, but with a twist, she was the protagonist. "Remember that time we built that amazing treehouse in the backyard?" In my memory, I spent weeks drawing up the plans and hammering the nails, with Dad's help. In Chloe's telling, she was the architect. I remember I had this grand vision, she'd say, her eyes sparkling. And I had to convince Dad and you to help me build it. My parents would nod and smile, completely buying it. It was like my own history was being rewritten, and I was being edited out. Things escalated when I graduated and moved back home for a few months to save up for an apartment. Chloe had started wearing my old clothes, things I'd left behind but cherished. Not just a sweater here or there, but my favorite denim jacket, the one I wore to my first concert. She even started using my signature phrases. It was bizarre. It felt like she was trying on my personality, seeing if it fit. One afternoon, I overheard her on the phone with one of her friends. She was talking about her plans to apply for an internship at the same marketing firm where I had just landed a job. And the way she described her skills, they were my skills. She was literally echoing the same points I had made in my own cover letter, which I'd foolishly left on the family computer. That's when the chilling realization hit me. This wasn't just sibling rivalry. She wasn't just trying to get attention. She was systematically trying to take over my life. I knew a direct confrontation would just end with my parents taking her side and calling me paranoid. So I had to be smarter. My chance came during our annual family vacation to the lake house, a place filled with our most cherished memories. The first few days were more of the same. Chloe was so much better at kayaking now. She always knew the best fishing spots I had shown her years ago. One evening, my grandma pulled out the old photo albums. This was my moment. As we flipped through the pages, we came to a picture of me, around 7 years old, proudly holding up a string of fish I'd caught with Grandpa. "Oh, I remember that day," Chloe chirped instantly. I was so scared of the worms, but I caught the biggest fish. Instead of getting angry, I just smiled calmly. "That's funny, Chloe," I said, my voice steady. "Because I remember that day very clearly. You weren't even there. You stayed back at the cabin with Mom because you had a stomachache from eating too much ice cream." A dead silence fell over the room. Chloe's face went pale. My mom looked confused. Then a flicker of memory crossed her face. "You know." "I think she's right," Mom said slowly, looking at Chloe. "You did have a terrible stomachache that day." Then my dad chimed in. "And I remember helping you clean that fish," he said, pointing at the photo of me. "You were so proud." For the first time, Chloe had no comeback. She was caught. I didn't stop there. I gently went through the album, page by page, calmly and factually reclaiming my memories. "Here's the science fair project I won first prize for," I'd say, before Chloe could claim it. "And here's the puppy I rescued. Remember?" Each photo was a piece of my life that I was taking back. I wasn't being aggressive or accusatory. I was just stating facts, supported by the evidence right in front of us. The atmosphere in the room shifted. My parents started looking at Chloe with a new, questioning gaze. They were finally seeing the pattern. The drive home from that vacation was the quietest car ride of my life. A few days later, my mom and dad sat me down. They apologized. They admitted that they had been so caught up in Chloe's charm that they unintentionally let her overshadow me. They hadn't seen how her behavior was affecting me, and they were truly sorry. It wasn't a magic fix. I had a long, difficult conversation with Chloe. There were tears and accusations, but eventually, she admitted she'd always felt like she was living in my shadow, and this was her twisted way of trying to measure up. It wasn't an excuse, but it was a start. We started family therapy, which helped us all learn how to communicate and set healthy boundaries. Today, things are better. Chloe and I are working on building a real, honest relationship, not one based on competition. I moved into my own apartment, creating a space that is entirely mine. I learned a powerful lesson through all of this. Your identity, your memories, and your accomplishments are yours. No one can take them from you unless you let them. It is so important to stand up for your own story and to make sure your voice is heard, especially when you feel like you're being silenced. So if you ever feel like you're fading into the background of your own life, please find your voice. Speak your truth, even if it's scary. You deserve to be the main character in your own story. Thank you so much for listening to mine. If this resonated with you, please hit that like button and subscribe for more stories. I'll see you in the next one.